It was really a lot of fun to watch those guys drag race at the start, but we'll take you out in the desert here as we watch Mark Post. The first thing I think we need to talk about, Cameron, is try and give the fans out there watching some idea of how rough.
3 and 4 feet deep. It's really incredible how fast these trucks can go through them, and the idea is to skim across the top as much as you can instead of getting down inside of them.
You're on board there with Jason Baldwin. Jason Baldwin won 2 championships last year.
And these are the Herbst brothers right here. We talked about the 4-wheel drive trucks. Now what they have is, in this section, they're really flying along. You can see they're actually limited a little bit in their front travel because they are a 4-wheel drive, but the truck does pull, and it works very well. They've won a ton of races in that vehicle.
Chet Huffman hanging on the 12th place right now. They will reach speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour out here over these holes that are in excess of 3 and 4 foot deep.
Speaking of going fast, Carl Renesetter is a guy that's not afraid of going fast at all. He's willing to hold it on. He's won the Baja 1000 before, and speaking of Core Series, he's won some championships.
Absolutely, and this is a brand new truck, a brand new piece that they thrashed on. Just got it completed a couple of weeks ago, came out here and did some testing, so they're expecting good things out of the Lucas Oil machine. And Chet Huffman off the course.
Tough break for the number 40 truck. You see the rider run into the back there. Looks like he's getting the spare tire off, a flat tire. This is when you really like to have a rider to help you lug that spare around.
All right, we'll go on board with Jason Baldwin's younger brother, Josh Baldwin, who's making a pass.
A clean one, too. No nerfing involved.
Good job.
And you hear him getting some kudos from the co-rider there.
Yeah, I'm sure the co-rider's real happy there. No beating and banging going on, especially when it's on his side of the truck.
And how rough is this section coming in? And that's actually a 3-seat Geyser Brother truck there. There's 2 riders in that truck to get out and change the tire. The driver doesn't even get out.
And Carl Renesetter had some problems with a brand new Lucas Oil machine. That has to be very frustrating. I know he came out here, he tested this truck, and it ran perfect for him.
Sounds like he's trying to start it, maybe starving for fuel or some kind of fire problem there.
Maybe an electrical problem, hard to speculate from up here. But gorgeous looking machine, but he has to be very upset that that one has quit running.
They don't look very good when they're sitting on the side of the course. I'm sure Carl will agree. And then the Herbst brothers, who have won here before, remember carrying the speed, and when they come out of the corners,
and B.J. Baldwin has put it over on its lid. Man, what a scary ride right there. We'll have more on him, and we'll get you an update and find out how he's doing when we come back. A lot more desert racing action coming your way. We are back here with Lucas Oil on the edge. Ken Stout with you, Cameron Steele sitting alongside. We're in Laughlin, Nevada, day number 1. Let's check in with Ted Brunson, who has an update on a new tire test.
Well, this weekend in Laughlin, here at the SCORE International race, those Toyo tires, first ever on a trophy truck, and this guy right here, Scott Steinberger, is one driving. How'd those work out for you?
They're working out good. You know, they held up well. They grip and bite really hard, and they're good off the corners, and we hope to go out there and pound them around real good today. Off-road racing, a lot of it's about holding back, and in the years past, it was about saving your equipment, and the equipment just keeps getting better and better, so now we're pushing the envelope, and Laughlin is 120%, where like the Baja 1000, you got to hold back. It's 1,000 miles. You got to be good the whole race. Here, you just got to be an idiot and go for it. Champ to a chump and 1 bump.
I love that line. Champ the chump and 1 bump, and this is him in the office. Look at that beautiful FabTech truck coming at you.
Scott Steinberger really getting after it there on the left. Looks like Pete Sword in the Speedway truck must have some kind of problem, usually not one to let off the gas, and the onboards are just unbelievable here. That hole could eat a trophy truck at 100-plus miles an hour.
And I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but the GPS also showed up there. They were traveling over 60 miles an hour through that bump. We'll go on board here with Jason Baldwin.
And the high-tech onboard video system shot from the back. Really kind of a cool view to see the truck going off the Laughlin Leap like that.
You can see that suspension underneath there working. And speaking of suspension working, look at the control arms on that truck. Just taking a beating. Talk about shock setups, man. You really need to be dialed in here to cover this stuff at these speeds.
Definitely, and all the people at Mike Smith Fabrication building the Herbst trucks. And this truck right here, Dondell, they have all new Fox shocks on there, doing some new technology with some different valves, and it really seems to be working for them.
Look at this, man, making a right-hand turn here. Post doing a nice job through a very rough section, hard on the gas. Look at these trucks flying through there, man. Baldwin almost endoed that thing.
Baldwin really going for it. I mean, he said He wants to get up there and mix it up for the championship this year, and he's really proving it right now. It looks like Brian Collins chasing him down from behind, though.
That is unbelievable. Two different lines here. Baldwin goes down through the wash and maintains the position.
And look at the space that Baldwin picks up on Collins there going down that fast section. Looks like he might have a little bit more pickup. And, oh, are we going to see some nerfing?
Jason Baldwin getting a little love tap.
And that's how we do it in off-road racing. That's Alan Pfluger from Hawaii doing the bumping. And he's won a couple races. He is known for being on the pipe.
Steinberger, and he has the people running, man. The crowd getting right out there close so they can watch these trucks come by. I don't know that that's the wisest thing to do, but you really want to watch these guys run out in the desert. It's just truly amazing what this equipment can do.
And do. They just continue to push it, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. And right now, Mark Post having a transmission problem, and on the radio they're saying he's stuck in first gear.
Tough break for him. He was actually leading at this point. We'll go back on board with Josh Baldwin, who'll come back into the checkpoint.
And this is going to do it for day one for Josh, so he gets to the finish line safely.
Dale Dondell with that four-wheel drive truck is leading right now at the end of day number one. You can see the lineup for the rest of the competitors. They still have one more day to catch up with the man. Can they get around him? We'll find out when we come back. There's a look at your leaders at the end of day one. Day two coming up. Lucas Oil on the edge. Today we're covering the Score Trophy Truck Challenge out here. It's an awesome desert race, and we're going to send it down to Ted Brunson, who's with one of the best racing families in the country.
Well, there are two Baldwin families racing here in Laughlin this year, and of course, we all know this Baldwin right here. Jason Baldwin and his brother Josh Baldwin. First, let's start with you, Jason. Last year's points winner. Didn't win a race, but you had enough points. You hung in there the whole time. Yesterday, different story.
Yeah, yesterday we got caught in the turns by Pfluger and just didn't get out of the way quick enough for him, and ended up getting taken out.
The rocker box is broken. They tried to put it back together. He didn't exactly finish all 4 laps. Came back looking just as bad as it was, but your crew put it back together. You're back ready to go.
Yeah, actually they tried to get it back together for the race, and we just ran out of time on the last lap. But they did a good job putting it together last night, and hopefully we're going to have a strong showing today.
Of course, the key is to stay in the race and get those points. Now, the guy who doesn't have a problem right now, at least, because he had a great run yesterday, in 5th right now, Josh, little brother rivalry right now. You find yourself in 5th place, and good running yesterday.
Yeah, we had a real good run yesterday. We ran at a pretty decent pace. We're going to turn it up a notch today. We're only 48 seconds out of the lead, so that's not very much when you combine the overall time.
Well, the Baldwin brothers always ready to race, always ready to battle each other. Josh, any predictions on the end of this weekend? You want to talk a little smack to your bro?
I don't know. You know, he's awful fast. You could really, I think, see him come across first today. I'm going for an overall points championship this year, so I'm going to pace myself and get the truck to the finish. But I'd be, you know, we're both going to be right there.
After racing, this guy right here could have a career in politics. The Baldwin brothers, ready to go.
And Josh Baldwin ended up 5th after day number one. A real nice run. We'll see if he can hang on to that position. Dale Dondell was ahead of Steve Serapis by just 1 second after 3 laps and ended up with a 19-second lead at the end of day one. Now it's time to start day two. Okay, and once again, we have started here day number 2. They've got to come out and maintain, and that guy right there, Carl Rennesetter, wants to make up a lot of ground after a tough day number 1.
He definitely has a lot to prove. Going on board, the Laughlin Leap trucks can fly over 150 feet on that jump.
They just stay hard on the gas and let her fly. Josh Baldwin, we know what his goal is now. It's to win a championship, which means he needs to keep the equipment together here today.
And it looks like he's playing it just a little safe right there. And then Jason, his brother, who's known for being on it, you see him putting his hand up, maybe just having a problem there in overall speed, getting past, going down the end of the pit straight.
Yeah, and they have great engine builders. Those trucks make awesome power, so he's probably, like you said, have his hands up like, man, where's the horsepower at today? Well, the Riviera truck, typically driven by Mark Post, owned by Mark Post, now being driven by one of the toughest off-roaders out there in Kurt Ledoux.
I like to call him the Grizzly Bear. This is a new matchup. These two guys drive together at the Baja 1000. The first race they did, they finished third, and a very good performance, and right now getting on board in one of the Robbie Gordon-built trucks.
Well, and I got to tell you, man, watching that rear suspension go to work, that is truly phenomenal stuff, and we've got another one on its lid.
Yard sale.
Tim Hurt's in big trouble. His day will be done. Let's check in with Ted Brunson, who has more on Kurt Leduc.
Kurt, you are no stranger to the off-road stuff. You're such an aggressive driver. Talk about this track at Laughlin, the 11.8 miles. What do you find the most difficult part of this track?
The difficult part is waiting yesterday for Mark to get us a great finish with his Riviera truck. You know, driving these trophy truck, it's like being addicted to speed, but the mile-per-hour kind, and I just love it, you know, try to win for the team today.
The men in the desert are putting these trucks through their paces. We'll have more in just a moment. The big man up there with the red hat, well, that's Tom Fredrickson from Lucas Oil. We're glad he made the trip out here. All right, let's send it down to Ted Brunson, who has an update on Carl Renesetter.
Well, this right here, what you're looking at, is the Lucas Oil number 17 sponsored truck driven by this man, Carl Renesetter. Carl, you've got a long lineage of racing going on with yourself and your family, and you've been doing this off and on since 1995, racing these trucks. Of course, everybody knows who follows racing, a core Pro 4 champ in 03. How much do you love this event?
I absolutely love it. I mean, you know, we're coming full circle. I started out racing in the desert about 15 years ago. I started out in Class 1 buggies and graduated to the trophy trucks. Now we've spent about 2 years developing and building this new trophy truck here, and we're debuting it for the first time this weekend. So we're very excited. We have Lucas Oil on board with us as our primary sponsor. We're just really, really excited to have this opportunity.
You did have some troubles yesterday, and today is a new day. Like you said, 2 years in the making. You do have to get the kinks out of this vehicle. What were the problems yesterday, and what can we look forward to today with you racing it?
Well, you know, we didn't have the typical new truck blues that we had expected. We put in quite a bit of test time on this truck, and it didn't miss a beat at all. 8 miles into the race, the fuel mapping system lied to the motor and told it was out of gas, which is a pretty unusual situation. I've never had that happen before. But we had our engine builder here last night, and he reprogrammed the fuel injection system. And today we're going to go out and we're going to see what she can give.
And Cameron, I'm going to take just a moment here as we watch Jason Baldwin and personally thank Carl Renesetter and that team, that Lucas Oil team, as they spearheaded this project to get the trophy trucks on TV. They worked extremely hard. And
Carl is just one of the best guys in all of racing. He works really hard at it, and a great driver, drives really quick and smart at all times. And speaking of quick, looks like Leduc's going to catch up Bobby Baldwin here and give him a little rub.
And if there's anybody out there that's not afraid to rub, it's going to be Kurt Leduc, but that pass was textbook.
Definitely, and you see there's nowhere for really Bobby to get off to, but he goes for it. And there, right there, is Gary Dirks, the Dirks and Darling team, first time together, and it's a new effort. 8th place is pretty solid, but Scott Steinberger's poised for a top 3 if he keeps it going.
Scott Steinberger having a much better day, too. Day number 1, they were having a fuel pickup problem. They seem to have that problem worked out, as does Carl Renesetter. We heard about his problems as well, and now he is flying.
Because of his problems, he had to start all the way in the back as well, so he's got to pass everybody. Dust, I mean, it's tough. Trophy trucks going 130 miles an hour, creeping up on people, bumping them, getting by. It's going to make it tough.
Carl Renesetter has been coming to Laughlin since he was a little kid. Now we'll take a good look at Bobby Baldwin, who's currently in 12th place.
And you see how the wheel movement up and down, and the trophy trucks are built to take those big bumps, and here comes Chet Huffman in the roughest area on the track.
A pretty rough area in the track, as you just mentioned, but look how wide it is.
There's multiple lines, but there's one big hole you got to battle with no matter where you are.
Whoa, man, and right there, boy, I tell you, it really kicked the back of the truck up hard.
It did. It looked like maybe the shocks were packing up just a little bit. You got to remember, this is like a short course race, so they may have the truck set up to really go fast and stay low, and there's not that many rough sections, but that one section you saw it come up just a bit.
Dale Dondell, our leader at the end of day number 1, is maintaining that lead. That four-wheel drive truck working great. And we've talked about the four-wheel drive trucks a couple times, but they actually have a tough time with maintenance on these trucks, trying to keep them alive. But he's doing a great job so far. Hey, that suspension's not done working yet. Neither are we. We'll be back in a moment. We're back here in Laughlin, Nevada with the Score Trophy Truck Challenge. And, of course, you're watching Lucas Oil on the Edge. Now let's send it back down to Ted Brunson, who's with the man that makes it all happen for Score.
Well, you know, this is the 11th year that Score International Off-Road Racing is right here in Laughlin. But this organization has been around for 32 years, and the guy responsible to keep this thing going, Sal Fish. What a job you've done and what a race this is.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of this event here in Laughlin, Nevada. It's a spectacular event. You know, what we're doing is cramming the Ducati Score Baja 1000, 1,100 miles into 11-mile loop. And as you can see, the fans are really digging it. It's wild. Without the Southern California Ford dealers, we wouldn't have these trucks to go out and market. BF Goodrich Tires, fantastic, and the Centrex people done a great job. And, you know, just like the racers, Score International needs sponsors too, but, you know, it's about the racers here today, and they're doing a great job.
Okay, final day, final lap. Josh Baldwin's been hanging on. He's actually fallen back a little bit here today, but again, wanted to keep that equipment alive.
You see him riding the ruts there, the deep side left and right. He rode up on top in the middle. A smart move there by Josh.
Even as high as these things are, they can certainly bottom out in these ruts that are extremely deep.
And flying the road crossing one last time, Josh Baldwin, you know, holding it in for 11th on the day. We'll see how it pans out for the overall 2 days combined.
We'll stay on board with him. Cameron, talk to me about this area.
Just a fast section. You can come into that hole at 120. You got to get out of it, though. If you hit that thing at faster than 80, it's going to be lights out, even in a trophy truck.
And it's lights out for the rest of the field, courtesy of this guy, Dale Dondell, who typically drives with his brother Mike, but Mike had a bone infection, couldn't make the call here this weekend. He's been inside of a trophy truck for a year and a half, and he's now earned his first win. Congratulations to Dale Dondell.
Dale, wire to wire, first place coming in today, and you held it, running out of gas near the end, but you kept putting it to it, didn't you?
Yeah, we worked hard. Yesterday wasn't smooth, even though we got the lead. We had brake problems and power steering problems and a CV boot problem and an alternator problem. My guys worked until 10 minutes before the race to get it going, and I said, shoot, I just want to finish today, and it was a good day today. So we had brake problems again. It wasn't necessarily my guys' fault, but it was in a rush. We forgot to put the reservoir caps on, but we got it done. That's what's important.
An excellent job. Another guy that came out here on day number 2 after fixing problems of day number 1 is Carl Rennesetter. He had a fabulous run. In fact, the truck was second quick on day 2.
Carl and Mike, not a good start yesterday. Worked the kinks out. Great run today. That had to feel really nice going around the track.
Yeah, the truck was really a performer, and for its first time out, this Lucas Oil machine is exactly that, a machine. And unfortunately, we weren't able to display that yesterday because we had one of those silly gremlins, fuel injection problem. Who would have thought that? You'd think you'd break something off first, but, you know, coming out today, we had to drive through dust. To be honest with you, it seemed like we were in dust the whole time, and we couldn't break out of it and get some clean running, or we could have even put in some faster laps. I think this truck's a runner and a future winner, I hope. And, you know, Mike here works on the truck, and you know, we feel really confident that's strong, and it's like our sponsor, Lucas Oil, you know, and the BF Goodrich Tires, nothing but the best.
Well, you can only wonder what would have happened if Carl had a front row start that second day.
Well, I tell you, man, excellent run for those guys. Congratulations to everybody, especially Dale Dondell, who comes out here, gets his first trophy truck win after being in the class for only a year and a half. Remember, for everything related to speed, log on to speedtv.com, and then feel free to link on over to lucasoilontheedge.com. For Ted Brunson, Cameron Steele, I'm Ken Stout. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.